Now, the reason why natives who have no understanding of truth can use miracles is that each one of us has our base in God. Each one of us is the infinite, limitless being that we are. And therefore anyone can tap that source. But as we grow towards mastership, we become more and more conscious of this. And then we can use this with far more ease and to a much better direction. But I want to get back to the basic point of the evening. To get this realization, we must peel off the thousands and thousands of layers of negative thoughts that we are not a master. All these concepts of limitation are now with us in what we call our subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is nothing but all the thoughts we have that we are not looking at right now. Through necessity, for convenience, we have set up that mechanism of taking all the thoughts we are not interested in at the moment and pushing them to the background, which we call the subconscious mind. But unfortunately, the subconscious mind is active whether we look at it or not, and is effective, and is holding us down, even though we know we want to be totally free. We are not able to move into it immediately because of the accumulation of all these thoughts that we have pushed into the background and called the unconscious mind. Now, the way to undo this, as I said, is start with one habit. Begin breaking that habit tomorrow. When you succeed with that one habit, take another habit. You'll discover that there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of habits that we are enslaved to, and that each time we let go of one habit, we are a bit freer. We are one step closer to full freedom. I like this method of habit breaking because there's nothing mysterious about it. It's simple and it's easy. Because ego-wise, we don't like to attack our ego. We don't like to let go of the ego. But we can always take a habit that is a small habit and begin changing it. And the moment we do that, we are doing away with a bit of ego. And therefore the drive in us for the self becomes a bit stronger. And as we go along with this method, we gain momentum, we gain strength. And then we move into what is called tapas, discipline, where we can start not eating when we're hungry, and then eating when we are not hungry. Not going to sleep when we're tired, and going to sleep when we're wide awake. See, this is a deeper layer of habit that we can attack. To use this method and to suffer under it is wrong. If I am a habitual smoker, and I say, well, I'm not going to smoke, and it just bothers me no end, I would be better off smoking than going through that constant trouble and struggle and negativity of thought of wanting it and not having it. It would put me down rather than up. But when I start with these small habits of taking a different street, of doing something small, doing away with a small habit, then I find out that I am capable of breaking a habit. And each time I break one habit, it's easier to break the next. And then someday I can attack the smoking habit. I think the one we're on today is the easiest one so far, and is one that everyone can use every day. And if we start today, we are starting with definite steps on a road to freedom. By turning inward, we begin to discover this great being that we are. And then when we discover that and we look outward, we see no difference. There is no difference between in and out when we discover the truth. There's no difference between the spiritual and the material when we discover the absolute truth. It's all one and the same. There's a total elimination of all differences. The top state is a state of non-difference. No differentiation. But again, I repeat, the prime thing we should do is daily do something toward becoming freer, toward letting go of a bit of ego. Where the ego rises not, there is the infinite self. Anytime you're in a state where the ego rises not, what's there is the infinite, limitless, omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent being that you are. But daily we must begin to let go of this ego. Daily we should let go of habits. Daily we must become freer and freer until we get to the point where we see these things, that we are this infinite being, and then in one lump sum we drop the whole thing. At first it's a chipping away, doing away with bit by bit until we get a clear enough sight of who and what we are so that we use our will to drop the whole thing of limitation. And from that point on, we are eternally